logic and cheese.
Hello, good evening and welcome. I have missed you all. Excuse me, and my mic needs adjusting. It's not been used for a while. Let's try that. That helps a bit. Great to see so many of you in here. Many names I recognise and not spoken to for quite some time. So at random, Repo Sandman, Charlie Welch, Mark Tin, Lady Moonweb, Rob Slide. I did see Dora Unku, of course Martin H, and where was it? Mohammed Shafiq with a big welcome back. You've been missed by all. Thanks, Mo. I appreciate that. Flow Rider, jumping back. Who else we got? Rich Afinas, Irish Dublin. Hello, Lady Moonweb. A couple more. Turtle Moves. Judy Bassett was in the house. Judy Bassett's always in the house, and many more. Thank you. I have missed you all. I don't know what you do know and don't know about my past few weeks. Basically been absolutely up to my neck in it. Mrs. S has had me working like a dog. We've had some mega projects to do around the house. Still plenty more to do. Oh yes, that whip is cracking. But a lot of them were controlled by the weather, so I had to get them done before the weather breaks. Hasn't broken yet, much to my surprise. So I can still get more done. Seems that everything's been happening. Then, of course, unfortunately, we had the Queen die. That screwed me up a bit at work for a short while. I had to work all sorts of extra hours. And as you probably know, I hope you know, just been to Dubai to visit my daughter and her husband. Had a lovely time. Never been to Dubai before. Too hot for me. 38, 39 degrees, I think, the whole time. The only time it was at all reasonable was popping outside about 6 o'clock in the morning. That was quite nice for about half an hour. Thankfully, just about everywhere was air conditioned. And of course, one of my dreams has been to go up the Burj Khalifa. I've always found that an absolutely astonishing building, an amazing mega project. And so I jumped at the chance at that. And if you've seen my latest video, and I hope you have, I actually thought, well, this is the chance of a lifetime. So I paid for a VIP ticket. Had to pay for my daughter as well. She was a cameraman woman, lady, short person sort of thing. So just me and my daughter, we had a great time going up the Burj Al Khalifa to floor 152. 152. I am terrified of heights. I know that there was the other video where I went to the frame and walked on a glass floor at 150 metres. Boy, was my butt clenched. But I had to do it. It really was a case of mind over matter. And I'm just having a quick glance. I'm presuming my sound is working. Yes, it is. Thank goodness for that, because no one's been screaming at me. So how about that? I don't know what it is. 6 weeks or whatever since I've done a live stream, and come back and I get it all working first time. That's a result. Yes, so Burj Al Khalifa. I had 3 flat Earth experiments planned. The first one I attempted a couple of days before the filming of the visit to the Burj, which was in the evening, and I started filming. Found a location so I could see the Burj from a distance, get the whole Burj in, and was filming because I wanted to see the shadow of the Earth climb up. Unfortunately, the air is much too dusty, and of course it's a highly reflective building. It's not like a grey concrete slab, so there was no straight shadow. Sorry, Dora, why aren't you muted? Funny lady. So unfortunately there was no nice clear-cut shadow. It was a beautiful thing to watch, and then all the lights started to come on, and it was nice to sit down, at dusk, and just relax a bit. But it was no good for a flat Earth experiment. Then, of course, up the Burj Al Khalifa, I had a clinometer in my phone because I wanted to show the horizon had dropped. Unfortunately, again, due to very dusty air, there was no horizon to see. So I was not able to do that. But the third flat Earth experiment, thank goodness, with barometer showing the air pressure or atmospheric pressure dropping from, I think it was 1,012 hectopascals down to about 960, something like that, I think it was. 950 something. That worked. It worked a treat. It was quite astonishing watching the air pressure drop as we went up in that rather swift elevator. By the time we got the camera lined up, we'd already gone up about 40 floors. Absolutely astonishing. Unfortunately, I was not able to get close enough to the display, so it was either the phone was in focus with the barometer or the display, so we went for the phone. Second lift I was able to get very, very close, so that worked better. But yeah, that was an amazing experiment. I must admit, I didn't realise quite how effective that would be. And yeah, the Burj, I did say in the video as well, because if you pay for a higher floor, you get to visit the lower ones as well. It was £195 per ticket for the VIP floor on 152, as opposed to 95 for floor, what was it, 148, something like that, or about £50 for floor 125. But it was worth the extra. The extra height does make quite a difference. Plus, you're not absolutely crammed, jammed, packed like sardines with lots of other people with screaming kiddies and no food, no drink, unless you're willing to fork out a fortune. And half your time is spent trying to fight your way through a shop that's selling nothing but tourist crap. Up on the VIP deck, it was all comfy sofas and cappuccinos and people bringing you your drinks. That was nice. But I managed to overcome my fear. I walked right up. I didn't even think I'd be able to stand by the window because it's floor-to-ceiling glass. I did it. I didn't think I'd be able to go out onto the observation deck. I did it, although I was very nervous, as you probably saw in that video, walking towards the barrier. I had to force myself. I really did. But I did it. I had to do it. It was a case of mind over matter. It's something I've always wanted to do, you know, as long as I knew about the Burj Khalifa, and I did it. And of course, I paid an awful lot of money, so I better flip and do it. It was astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. I still can't but believe that building. And if you ever do get the chance to go to Dubai, I would thoroughly recommend visiting the Burj. I mean, it's astonishing just to look at it up close. But I would recommend biting the bullet, paying the money, going up there, even if it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, because it's worth it. Definitely. So, what's been happening, guys? While I was away, I tried to watch some Flat Earth stuff. There's not much around lately, is there? Mr. Nathan Oakley's channel, I think, is a channel about tumbleweed and whistling wind, because there ain't much else happening on his channel, is there? He did a bunch of repeats, and I think his output's dropped. Certainly his view account's dropped, about 700 in 24 hours on his quality streams. And some of them I looked at, and comments, there was only 2 or 3 comments. What is happening, Mr. Oakley? Are people deciding to not like you anymore? I wonder. I'll tell you what, Mr. Oakley, the place to be is Flatzoids. He's an up-and-coming flat earther. Flatzoid has been a busy boy. Yeah, he's pumping out stuff that we would consider a load of rubbish, but he's pumping out stuff, and he's also had a couple of debates. He had Fight the Flat Earth and Conspiracy Cats, or Culture Cats now. I've only watched a part of that one. I started this evening because I've just not had much time. And I must admit, although he didn't really bring a lot of evidence to that, but he actually impressed me in the way he was putting forward his argument in his evidence section. It wasn't much evidence, but he actually seemed decent. Sorry, my foot's jammed. Seemed decent in the way he was dealing with cats. Now, I've not seen the whole stream, so I'm looking forward to watching the rest of that, because I have seen people say he got absolutely panned by cats. I'm not surprised, but well done, Flatzoid, for actually being someone who'll go out there and have a debate, unlike you, Mr. Oakley. I did say to Flatzoid, are you up for a discussion or a debate? And he said yes, but I haven't managed to get in touch with him yet to sort anything out, so I look forward to doing that. Rich901 saw the cats one. It was painful. Well, I shall... and Flo says cats mopped the floor with him. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, yeah, I'm going to look forward to that. And it's nice to see Cats back again and doing something. Yes, I did see Cats mention something about 11 frames, and I think the moderator went, "Oh, oh, yeah." Well, we all know about that. We all know about that. What's this? Oh, that's, yeah, the mods allowed that. Whatever it was Kenny was saying, dumbassery and arsehattery. Yeah, I think that's flat Earth all over. But because I've not, sorry, just stepping back, but because I've also not been doing videos over these past few weeks, I've not been going through all my tagged flat Earth channels to see what other people are doing. I had a glance. Brian's Logic's not been doing much, but other than that, I've not really looked at them. So I don't know if these guys are putting out anything. But generally, it's going very quiet. I think flat Earth may be dying. Guys, find something else to believe in, quick, before you look silly. Too late. So, yeah, that's what's been happening with me. I've still got more stuff coming up, and just to give you a heads up, in about a week's time, I've got to have an operation. Nothing of concern, but I've got to have an operation, and it's going to be about 3 weeks recovery time. So I'm not. It's going to make things a bit tough. I'm going to be at home. I can't go to work, and I may be able to do some videos. I hope to, but it'd be a case of doing a little bit and then stopping because of recovery. So I hope to have some videos out. I hope to have some probably short live streams, but it may be a bit intermittent. So basically during this coming month, I'm being pretty much wiped out following an operation. I actually need 3 operations, and I asked if they could all be done, because they're doing 2. I asked if they can do all 3 at once, and they said no, because there are only 3 teams of surgeons, and I won't be able to stand the pain. Oh yes, pain. No pain, no gain, is what some people say. No pain sounds all right to me, is what I say. Anyway, those enlargement operations are worth it, says Dora. You cheeky mare. Yes, well, I may be a little different when I come back, and you can call me Loretta. So Flatsoid is trolling SMD. Simon Dan's Discord with his BS videos, but runs away from real discussion. Run away! Run away! What's he been trolling Simon Dan for? Yeah. Oh, thank you, Plastic Citizen. No, I will be fine. It's nothing life-threatening or anything like that. It's just it's going to pretty much wipe me out. But since I'll be home, I won't be able to do much. You know, and I'm not going to be able to stand for long. I'm not going to be able to walk around for long. I'm not going to be able to sit down for long. I'm not going to be able to lie down for long. So bits where I can sit down, I'll try and work on some videos. I want to do videos. I like doing videos. Thank you very much, Mo. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, so there's not been much happening with the flat Earth that I've seen. I don't know if anyone else is aware of any big stories in the flat Earth that we can look at. I did see that my old nemesis Kyle Adams at the Flat Earth Institute of Science did something about meteorites or meteors. So I might have a look at that. See what derp comes up from that direction. But other than that, I'm not sure what anyone there has done. So I don't know. No, Kenny. Got the Hemis. No. Sorry. I'm supposed to be talking to you guys, not laughing at the comments. Dora. Mr. S is doing stuff to impress Mrs. S, so she'll pamper him for 3 weeks. Smart move. Pamper me? She'll never pamper me. Excuse me while I just adjust this mic, this camera a little. Maybe a little the other way. I did have comments about the quality of the video on my Burj Khalifa video. Well, that was using 2 phones, my Samsung Galaxy phone and my daughter's iPhone, both of which are much higher quality than this camera, which is only 720p. Now, most of my videos, of course, are done just sat in front of this camera. my outside videos are normally done on my phone, but of course for that it was the iPhone as well. So because I had a much better quality, I rendered it rendered it and uploaded it for 4K, and I think it showed. I do need to improve this camera. It's the second one I've had since I started streaming, both of which cost me £15. Bargain. It's a good camera. It's not bad. I'll keep it as an emergency backup, I think, but I need to look at getting a better camera. The only thing is streaming. I don't know how my internet will hold up with streaming, but certainly for videos I could do with a better quality camera, so I'm going to look into that. So 3 weeks recovery from converting to flat earth. Lexitivium. Isn't Carl at Globusters these days? Is he? Draco? That was easy for me to say. He's tied up with Globusters now, is he? Well, that's interesting. Not heard anything about that. I never watched Globusters. Never watched it because all their videos seem to be sort of stream length rather than anything shorter. I think they do this sort of thing to keep away from having one of their videos pulled to bits. Yeah, Plastic Citizen, there are some good inexpensive cameras out there. I mean, my first one was just an ordinary webcam that I used just for, you know, things like Skype and that sort of thing years back. And so when I first started streaming, I thought, well, let's go with it, and it's actually not bad. And then eventually it just stopped working, so I thought, well, let's just replace it. £15, good to go. It might have been 17 by the time I got the replacement. Oh, Kyle was on Simon Dan's Discord as well. Orbits are impossible. Are they? Why are orbits impossible? Has he never seen the moon? How about us orbiting the sun? Yes, that's right, Repo Sandman. Do a 4-hour stream. No one wants to wade through it to find the derp. So I better keep this stream going for 4 hours then. I have dropped a message to Q about MAGE, but that was only last night, and I've not heard back from him with regard to the MAGE voting, because that was what I did want to quickly run through tonight. There's no other MAGE design, but you guys took part in voting on, I think it was about 6 points, if memory serves. I think it was about 6 points, because a lot of the MAGE, what we want to send in MAGE or not do with MAGE was already decided, but there were a few things we could go either way. We gave some strong recommendations as to which way we thought would be best, and you guys, though, got to vote on it with a possibility of overriding those recommendations. So I've got the results. Yay! So we can have a look at those in a minute. And then I need to hook up with, I'll explain in a second, hook up with Q so that we can actually then start on the actual physical design and build of MAGE. Yeah, sorry, the reason I'm yawning is coming back from Dubai. We stopped, had a flight to Bahrain, and then it was a 2 a.m. till 7 a.m. UK time flight to London. Unfortunately, once we all got on the plane, we were all ready to go at 2 o'clock, and he said, all get off the plane, it's broken. So we all traipsed off, faffed around for about an hour, and then they said, your next plane will be 9 o'clock in the morning. So we had an 8-hour wait in the airport. They gave us a voucher for food, only the food was appalling. Anyway, so that screwed up my sleep pattern, and since then I've been yawning and falling asleep, as I'm doing now, about 9 o'clock in the evening, and then waking at 3 o'clock. But of course, tomorrow night in the UK, the clocks fall back for winter time. GMT we're moving to from BST, and so I'm going to gain an hour, get an hour back to normal. So hopefully I'll be over this. Normally, because I do work nights and that, and I can chop and change from days to nights to lates to whatever at a drop of a hat. But for some reason, coming back from Dubai, I've not been able to. I've never suffered from sort of jet lag type thing before. But there we go. Another experience. Arto Risson, Q is such a busy guy making up all the conspiracy theories and designing MAGE III. Yeah, I'm not sure it's the same Q. I'm not sure it's the same Q. But you know, if it was, I wouldn't be able to tell you, and probably have to kill you. You know. You were shocked to learn of such a thing as British summertime. Oh, it's always summer here. Yeah, always summer. In the winter, when it's still actually summer, you also go brown, and although it's rust rather than the sun, I must admit. Right, shall we have a look? Shall we have a look at these mage things then? We've got, I think, as I said, it's 6. I have got them all here, but I can only step through them. Actually, well, I could step through them quickly now just to make sure. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, just the 6 of them. So it's not massive. Not massive. So let's have a look at the first one. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry, it's going to do that flicky thing every time I change one. Oh no, it won't. No, it'll be okay. This is about horizon drop. Which method of horizon drop should mates use? Because we could have used a sight level gauge, one of the U shapes, but there are all sorts of issues with that. Or we could use back-to-back cameras, which was our recommendation. And a massive 90.22% of you voted for the back-to-back cameras, which I'm very glad about. I mean, a sight level gauge would be interesting, but I think the back-to-back cameras will be much more effective, and it looks like you guys agreed, which is good stuff. Because I'll be able to show the images side by side, and whenever the horizon is level across the 2 cameras, we know we're level, and then we'll see if that is below or above the centre of the field of view. Job done. Nice easy win to show that horizons dropped. Although I bet you a pound to a penny flat earthers don't understand how that works. There we go. So let's have a look at number 2. Right, switch that one off. Oh, this is going to be a pain. I'm going to have to keep doing that every time. Sorry, guys. Yeah. That's not very slick, is it? I knocked this up last night briefly, but I didn't try stepping through them all like that. Never mind. So number 2 was a Cartesian Diver that rises and falls with pressure. We did recommend against it, and there was my Mr. S secret special experiment, which we definitely want to put on as part of MAGE, which will sort of encroach. To a certain extent, it covers the same sort of thing to do with pressure, and we definitely recommended against it. And you guys agreed 95.65%. So that was, to be honest, I'm not surprised, but I'm glad that you guys went that way as well. Bev Tried Thinking voted for the water levels. Yeah, unfortunately, Bev Tried Thinking wanted MAGE to be about a mile long, or a double MAGE with a hose in between, and he wanted it to be nailed down next to a canal. And he still wouldn't get it, would he? Still wouldn't get it. So that was number 2, Cartesian Diver. So we are not doing that. Number 3, I'm going to see if I can do this a bit. Will it let me do it a little more slick? Yeah. So as long as I prep it, I can get it across in one intro thing. Should MAGE III include a density tower? Which does include its own issues, in that a density tower would just show as a density tower all the way up. You only get the 0G when a balloon pops, just for a few seconds. Then you got gravity, and it will sort into a density tower. At the point of the balloon popping, everything's flying around, so the density tower will probably just be a total homogeneous mix. So we didn't really think we were going to see anything useful. Plus, of course, it would use a large amount of the field of view. Plus, of course, it's going to be very heavy. Plus, it's going to be difficult to make sure we got the right mix of ingredients to maintain a density tower, as well as none of them freezing or anything like that. So you guys agreed with 91.4%. So we won't be having the density tower. Yeah, heavy, as you said, Next Pro. Right, so number 4. Yeah, let's get number 4 up. Number 4 was infrared camera in order to cut through the haze. We could cannibalize one of Q's cameras and have a good IR camera at risk of damaging his camera, but he already had a camera with an infrared lens, but it's only a plastic lens and the quality is not very good. So we decided, well, we recommended against it, and you guys have agreed as well. I mean, an infrared camera, I do think it would be worth doing that sometime. So maybe with a MAGE IV, we go for a specific and good quality infrared camera and not worry about some of the other things which we would have already done, and have that as another MAGE. I mean, this MAGE, I wanted to particularly to do the horizon drop, which we're going to do with the back-to-back cameras, and there's my secret special experiment, which is fun to do with pressure. Plus we'll have sort of standard film, of course, of MAGE, and maybe we'll get lucky with the cloud cover and have some excellent views. I hope so. Yeah, Lady Mireb, you're right. We have all seen the density tower, including on the Vomit Comet, and they just still don't get it, do they? They just do not get it. Raspberry high quality without the infrared filter is cheap and quite good. Imho, says Dora. Yeah, well, we're working with the cameras that Q has, and as I said, he does have one which will show infrared, but it's a poor. I say poor quality. It's not as bad. It's just that I don't really think that you're going to see the level of detail. It's not good enough for the job up there that we'd be looking for. So which one are we looking at? We're looking at 4, aren't we? Yes. So it's all the infrared camera. So you guys have agreed. It was a bit closer. It was 74.4% plays 25%. So I can see that there's a bigger interest in the infrared camera than some of the other things we've already covered. And as I say, I think that might be a good one to do for MAGE IV, with a good quality camera, and really make the most of it, rather than try and cram something in, something very weight saving, to get something infrared but not do a very good job at it. I think rather send up another balloon and do a good job at infrared shooting. That would be interesting. Right, so what's number 5? Get that set up. Number 5. Should MAGE utilise a solar filter to see the sun angular size? Well, as I said, if you've got a solar filter, then unless it's pointing towards the sun, all you're going to see is black. When you do point towards the sun, you're just going to see a circle with no details on it. So it's a lot of weight just to see a white circle, basically. And we recommended against it. Oh, of course, as well as that, as well as the camera, you've got the battery pack to run it as well. So you're going to sacrifice height because of the extra weight. So we recommended against it, and that you guys backed us up on that as well. 91.4% plays 8.6. I mean, listen, those who have gone the other way, I'm not knocking those votes, because a lot of these things would be interesting to see, but we've only got so much weight we can take up there. That's the main thing. Good evening, Professor Phil Bell, Squire. All right, Squire? Hope you're well. So it's a no on the solar filter. Yeah, because it would be a lot of weight just to see a circle. And angular size change, you know and I know that the angular size change from ground level up to 38 kilometres or whatever it is going to be nil. Certainly nothing we can measure. So we're not gaining anything either. Okay, so that comes on to the last one. And before I update that on the screen, I'm going to take a swig of water. Look at that, John Smith's extra smooth water. Damn fine pint that is. Yeah, so let's have a look at number 6, which is measuring gravity. Measuring gravity. We suggested, well, actually, I'll be honest, it was Q. With accelerometers, we can measure the X, Y, and Z accelerations and calculate the vector downwards, gravity, with very, very little weight, and it's just track all the data. And we recommended we did do that, and you guys have agreed. Again, 91.4%. So we will be doing this. We will be doing this. As I did say in the text there, I don't know if you can read it on the screen. Those of you with giant screens can read it, I'm sure. Those of you who are looking on phones, maybe not so much. But the data may be a bit flaky until MAGE gets higher up. When it's being thrown around, we've got all sorts of accelerations. Yes, we'll calculate gravity from the various accelerations, but once it's steadier, it's going to be easier. So I'm expecting, well, I could be wrong, expecting the graph to be a bit spiky at first and to calm down as we go higher up. And it'll be interesting to see if we, because we should, especially if we get a reading down at ground level while everything is steady, and then when MAGE is at its high point, when everything is steady, and see if we've got a noticeable and measurable reduction in the in gravity. So we shall be doing that. Oh, Peter Afanas says MC Toon's doing a debate with Flatsoid. I did say someone said that Toon's on tonight. I planned this a couple of days ago and kicked the stream up a couple hours ago because I had to fit around my shift patterns and so on. Tomorrow I shall be working. Tomorrow I shall be working in the evening. Then another late, and then a couple nights, so it would wipe me out for another 4 days. So I've had to stick with today anyway. But I was there first. That's his problem. It sounds like a you problem, Toon. So there we go. That was the voting from MAGE. So thank you everyone who had watched the previous stream where we went through all the MAGE options. Thank you for everyone who looked at and or filled in the survey. I appreciate the inputs. And these were very real possibilities. These were things that perhaps we couldn't decide on for sure. So we gave you guys the final decision with our recommendations, which were quite strong recommendations. But if you guys voted against us, we would have gone with them. But it looks like great minds think alike, and fools never differ. So we will be going with that. And as I said, once I manage to hook up with Q again, I will start work with him. This might be something I'll be doing during this time that I'm convalescing. Yes, Dora, with convalescing with Mrs. S running around, waiting on me hand and foot. But while I'm convalescing, I might be able to have a lot of back and forth with Q, and we can start tightening up MAGE. And then we can start thinking about timescales for when MAGE is going to fly. Oh, thank you, FE Peer Review. Much rather spend an evening with Mr. Sensible live and listen to Flatsoid spout nonsense in a debate. Oh, yes. Maybe we should have Flatsoid and Brian's Logic and Nathan Oakley and Bill Nodell, and they can have some sort of, I don't know, mass debate. I don't know. So, yeah, that's it really with regard to MAGE for now. I will be in touch with Q. We will get things moving. Oh, thank you. What do you call it? I've been so far out of it. Super chat, $10 Canadian from the Jumbo Show. Thank you, Jumbo. Do more videos and more debates. Yeah, well, I appreciate the super chat, and I appreciate the thought as well. Like I said, I've been pretty much out of it for a while due to life. I'm coming back, although I've got this recovery from operations coming up, so that's going to hold me back a bit, but I will be doing some. And I've already reached out to Flatsoid with regard to a debate, and as I get back into it now, hopefully I can start hooking up with people again and look for more debates, because I enjoy them. Rachie Zeros, hello, good evening to you, Rachie. I recommend a wave detector, maybe a ring laser gyro and gimbal to keep orientation, maybe a mechanical clock if it can keep up there long enough, infrared camera, maybe a multispectrum camera if possible. I'll tell you what, Rachie, and why don't we send you up as well? That's rather a lot of stuff for a weather balloon. I appreciate the comments. A ring laser gyro. I'll tell you what, you give me 20 grand, or perhaps borrow Bob's gyro, at risk of it not coming back or dropping into a lake or something, and maybe we can look at sending it up. If you give us a 20 grand. That's not me being greedy, it's just rather an expensive piece of kit. As it is, we lost a camera on MAGE I, so that cost me £150. It's still there. If anyone wants it, it's in a field somewhere in the middle of England. A secret location amongst a bunch of crops. It's probably been ploughed in now. All my important scientific data is under a field of wheat. Winter wheat. There we go. So, Rachie, are you doing flat Earth stuff? I've not checked your channel out for a while. I don't know if you missed it earlier on. I've not checked anyone's channel. So I don't know what stuff you're doing with regard to flat Earth. I hope you are doing stuff. I shall have a look. See if we've got some stuff to tackle. And you said hi, Mr. Sensible. Yeah, hi, Rachel. You know you're welcome here. We obviously disagree about the shape of the Earth, but that's all. That's fine. Bob's ring laser gyro is defective. It keeps reading 15 degree per hour drift. Well, perhaps if we sent balloon the other direction at 15 degrees per hour, that will cancel out. Maybe that will help. What's this? It's expensive. And I did want to go up or send someone up. I asked Professor Bill, ideas can come true. I'm stuck on time and reality in terms of waves at the moment. Okay, well, maybe you got some stuff on your channel, Rachel. When I get a chance, I shall have a look. The balloon, I don't know what it is like in other countries. They have different rules, but we can send up about a kilogram of, is it kilogram or 2 kilograms of mass? Certainly not more than that. It's not a lot. Yes, Phil. I tell you what, how big are those balloons? We've seen them with those clips of film of Satelloons, the NASA one. And now I doubt that's 3 ton. Maybe it is. But that is a humongous balloon. Absolutely humongous, and it would cost you a shed load of cash to pay for the gas to put it up. To put MAGE up, I mean, you've all seen MAGE, which is basically polystyrene, balsa wood, a couple of cameras and a couple of battery packs. That cost about £120 in hydrogen gas. Helium gas is even more expensive, but that's rare. We'd rather keep that for more important things. Hydrogen gas is cheaper at only about £120, but it's a bit explodey. It goes bang. And the balloon itself was about £120 as well. And that lifted about a kilogram to 38 kilometres. So, yeah, there's some big limitations on that. Massive limitations. Have I considered making MAGE from carbon rods instead of wood? They're not too expensive. Well, Lady Moonweb, the amount of balsa on MAGE II actually wasn't that much. It was only a light framework stuck forward to have those strings on. There will be on MAGE III, on the Mr. S secret special experiment, which I'm not telling anyone about right now, there will be something that needs to be out away from the main unit on a rod or rods of some sort. So I don't know. I mean, the MAGE's balsa construction wasn't, as I said, it wasn't that heavy, and certainly the item I'm putting on the end of it is extremely light. So yeah, we can look at something like that. To be honest, even one of those little garden canes, not bamboo, but the really, really thin little plant canes, something like that might be enough, or 2 of them just out in a triangle. Don't tell Anthony Riley if we get triangles involved with it. Just keep quiet about that. Don't want to set him off. But good point. We'll consider that. The material itself of the main box is a sort of styrene of one sort or another. For strength, lack of weight, and its insulating properties. But overall, it's not heavy. We had to put more weight in. I had to add additional cat biscuits in the original MAGE, because we use weight as well as ballast to control where the flight goes. Yeah, carbon has less chance of heat distortion while being light AF. What, autofocus? Yeah, I presume you mean light autofocus. Temperature's not really a problem, gently. It goes down. I suppose when we say heat distortion, it could be distortion with a cold, couldn't it? So fair enough. But I just need to hold an object at a distance in front of MAGE III, in front of the camera. And as I said, it's a very light object, so it only needs a very light construction. And if it does move around because of any distortion, it's not going to make any difference to that. And here we go again. Oh, I do apologise. My deepest apologies, my friends. Yes, it is cold up there. Very cold up there. Here's a novel idea, says WPL. How about this time a lens with no distortion to go up MAGE? Well, WPL, we had, I shall say this only once. We had 3 cameras on MAGE II. We had an upward-facing balloon cam, which was a wide-angle camera, because we had one. It didn't matter if it was wide-angle or not. Facing backwards, we had a wide-angle lens camera, just to get a full, wide, and nice view. And that was expected, and of course did have bending and flexing. It went convex and concave and every other sort of con that you could think of. Then we had the main MAGE camera. That was the one with the strings. That was not a fisheye lens, none were. It was not a wide angle lens, it was a non-distorting lens. But it does have a tiny bit of distortion. All lenses do. Now, there is such thing as a rectilinear lens to try and get rid of that last little bit of distortion. I'm not sure if it does it 100%, but my understanding is, and I'm not a camera person, that those lenses are rather expensive, which is why we had the strings in front of it, because if the lens is distorting, the strings are distorted. But those strings were barely touched by distortion, and we took the observations of the horizon while the horizon was between the strings across the centre of the field of view, where there is no distortion with any of the lenses. So yeah, a bag of crisps. Well, that depends what flavour. 9 o'clock here. I guess it'd have to be cheese, wouldn't it? Didn't Bob break his ring? He broke his ring laser gyro, did he? Oh dear, how sad. Never mind. Yeah. Oh, hello, Colon. Good God, it's Colon, no less. What's this? Proximity matters. What proximity matters with what? Are you going to say there's not distortion when things are close to the lens and they distort when they're further away? I don't think it works like that. Is that what you're saying? Tell me that's what you're saying. Still talking about carbon, a stronger frame and a larger payload. Well, the frame of the actual probe itself is literally just a box. Strength-wise, it doesn't need any strength. The only time we need some rigidity and stiffness in the frame at the front of MAGE II, because we've had the taut strings. They were spring-loaded, so they were taut. That's where we needed rigidity. If the actual MAGE box itself, if there was any bend or flex in it, that wouldn't have mattered, actually. Wouldn't have made any difference. Believe me, Q has... I nearly swore there. He has an awful lot of experience with high altitude ballooning. I was so lucky to find Q. We hooked up outside of YouTube, and then found out that he knew of me. So that was quite good. Oh! Sorry, just going back to Dubai. I don't know if my daughter will watch this, because she'll kill me if I say, but my son-in-law and daughter, they mentioned that they were talking to someone out there, and were telling them about their family. Oh, my dad does this. Oh, and he's got a YouTube channel. Has he? All right then. What's that then? And this guy apparently started watching it. He's a big fan. I've got a big fan in Dubai, And we actually were arranging for he wanted to come and meet me, which would have been nice. That's a long way to go and meet someone from YouTube. Unfortunately, there was some illness in the house, and so he, due to family issues, a baby or a toddler that they've got, decided they couldn't risk catching any illness or anything, which I understand. So that's a shame, but nice one. So Mrs. S was spitting teeth. She doesn't like it. I said, what are you going to do one day when we're out somewhere and someone comes up and says, you're that Mr. S, aren't you? She said she's going to die. She's going to die. So please, 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 if you ever see me out and about anywhere, and especially if I'm with Mrs. S, come up and say, oh, Mr. S, I'm a big fan. Is this Mrs. S? She'll kill me. Absolutely kill me. But that was a nice surprise. And incidentally, just when I was arriving at Dubai, I posted a picture of the Dubai skyline without saying where it was, saying, hey, I've just come here for a flat earth experiment. Do you know where I am? And a couple of people said, that's my hometown. That's Dubai. So I do have people who watch from Dubai. So any of you out there, shout out to you. I was wearing a Mr. Sensible t-shirt. I'm wearing Mr. Sensible t-shirt now, Dora. You're there for a shoulder to cry on when that happens, Dora. Oh, Dora, you're lovely. Turtle Moo says rectilinear lenses are rather expensive and heavy. The lens could cost more than a P1000. I'm not going to do one of them. No, I'm going to do one of them. I've had several flat earthers say, but your lens is curved. I said, well, what do you want? A flat piece of glass? A window? Lenses are curved. Simple as that. Simple as that. What's an open invitation to stalkers, says Watto. Yeah. Yeah, even if you're a stalker, come over and say hello. Hey, I need the company. Mrs. S never wants to speak to me anyway. But no, I am looking forward to that day. It will happen one day, because I've met several people. I've met other creators, and I've met a few people who aren't creators, but are connected to YouTube, and that's lovely. There will come a time. Now, I know that I'm not going to walk down the road tomorrow and have hordes of people screaming and say, Mr. S, Mr. S. I know that's not going to happen. But someday I'll bump into someone who happens to be someone who watches the channel, and I'm really, really looking forward to that day. If only to say to Mrs. S, there you go, so she that shuts her up, and my daughter, who I keep teasing and keep saying, oh, yeah, I'm a YouTube influencer. You're not a YouTube influencer. You're not. So I so want that to happen. It's got to happen. Got to happen. Oh, second best Bob member for 27 months. Not all Bobs are idiots. They certainly aren't, especially second best Bobs who are members for 27 months. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate the support. I really do. Colon. Oh, are you having a bit of a backward and forward with WPL? Can you all hear my voices going? Never mind. You've been practicing your stalkerizing skills, says Arto Rissanen. Do I have a rose bush in my yard? No, I don't have a rose bush in my yard, but I do have rather a large pile of railway sleepers. You could hide behind that. Your WPL is suspicious of an experiment. Right, what is it he's suspicious of? Suspicious. I'm scrolling back, see if I can find what he's banging on about. WPL. Oh, distant objects will distort more. I don't know if he's still in the chat. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? That big dome shouldn't be too hard to spot in a crowd. Maybe, WPL. A bit easier to spot than your flat earth dome that nobody has spotted. Anyway, this is a style choice. This is a reduced coefficient of drag. I'm a man built for speed, WPL. Don't you forget that. Don't you forget that. What's this? What are you on about, WPL? Mr. S didn't inform you how professional photographers would use a lens map, you dork. What a joke FE is. Oh, stepping into something there. Please don't get sick. No, I don't think I'm sick. I think possibly had a touch of something when we were out in Dubai. Mrs. S is a bit under the weather. My daughter was ill. My son-in-law was ill. All of us have been a little bit ill. I've been back at work a few days, couple of days, and I'm okay. But it's just got a bit of a dry throat, and water doesn't seem to be wetting it. Maybe what was it? I'm trying to think. I heard someone say about water recently about why don't we have dehydrated water so it takes up less space. Yes, Angel. I took the words out of your mouth. Flat Earth Dome should be blatantly obvious, but it's nowhere to be seen. Oops, WPL. Oops, indeed. But to be fair to WPL, he hasn't said that he believes in a dome. In fact, I'm not really sure what WPL does believe in. But yeah, I haven't seen him say he believes in a dome. Peer review. Maybe try a slice of cheese. There's one on the wall in a frame. It's only about 2.5 years old. What's this? We also need to recognise the cost of us of having a genuine leather hair. Oh dear. I tell you what, I've so missed you guys. I really have. Really have. Do you know, I've only been going sort of 50 minutes. I feel like I've been going for ages. I think it's with this dry throat or knackered old throat. C3P hole. That's a new name. Like that, C3P hole. Mr. S, I work at the Dome and I can tell you 100% there is no dome. Ah, nice one. There you go, WPL. There is no dome. There you go. Oh, right. WPL, non-distorted lenses don't exist, and the ball Earth's best answer is to fix it in Photoshop. Shake my head. Well, WPL, Photoshop is not required. I could send you the original footage that was saved straight off the SIM card. There is a couple versions of the MAGE one. There's obviously the experimental one, which is edited as in cut down. But there is a separate full-length video, about 2.5 to 3 hours, of MAGE using the wide-angle lens from takeoff to landing, uncut, and the same with the MAGE cam, from takeoff to landing. In fact, more than that, from takeoff, when I let go of it, to landing, sitting in the grass for about half an hour, uncut, until I pick it up, because I didn't want anyone to be able to say that it was cut and edited, and there was no processing other than overlaying height data. Now that's not been fixed in Photoshop. And also, I would like to know how you could fix it to keep the string straight and the horizon permanently to have a curve without any bending and flexing or anything like that, or affecting the strings. I don't think you know about optics, does you, my love? No, you know even less about optics and Photoshop than me. Anyway, it wouldn't be Photoshop, would it? That would be for still, not for moving video. Ah, Dr. Utko's a professional window cleaner of the Dome, and it's a hell of a job. I tell you, it must be, because all of it would be like that. It would all be running down your arms, wouldn't it? Going in your armpit. And I can just imagine, you finally get up there, you clean a bit, making a cracking job, I'm sure. And if my bucket's empty, you have to go all the way back down and fill it up again. Well, I suppose if you did it on rainy days, you could just fill it up in the clouds. What a job. Those guys cleaning the Burj Khalifa. I don't know what this particular guy was doing on the day I was there, but I got a shot. I thought, what's that? Zoomed in, and there was a guy dangling, just one guy dangling on a rope going down. I forgot what we call that when you abseiling down the side. I don't know what he was doing there, because it wasn't a clean-up crew. So, there we go. Does WPL realise how much work is required to create a fake video? Hollywood-level design techniques and months of work. I know about this stuff, says Lady Moonweb. Yes. Well, obviously, Lady Moonweb, I am, with my 10-year-old computer, way beyond Hollywood. Way beyond. Steven Spielberg will be looking to employ me. Just you watch. Oh, that's harsh, colon. Oh, WPL, what a joke you are. I bet you can explain where 11 frames went. Now that's edited. No 11 frames missing from my 2.5 to 3 hour Mage videos, WPL. Not one. Not a single sausage. Not a sausage is cut. And not a single flat earther has been able to debunk Mage. Many have tried. Check out my Mage Rage list. The only person, one person, and I will give him credit, and I'll give him credit every time I talk about this sort of thing, was Brian's Logic. He made 2 points about Mage. First one of which was wrong. I can't remember what it was. But the other one, he queried the temperature readings. And on a bit of research, it looked as though the temperature sensor was a couple of degrees out. It was reading too high. Or it had been affected. Perhaps it got caught in sunlight or something like that. But he was right. It was reading what we would regard as too high a temperature. That's the only successful challenge of any sort to Mage. So well done, Brian. I did credit him with that on a Mage Rage video, and I've credited him several times in streams whenever we talked about it. You know, at least he put in the effort and had researched. Now we know Brian gets many other things wrong. Many things, many times. But he was right on that one. And I'm going to acknowledge it because I'm honest. Mr. S will be using the same computers NASA used to create the Blue Marble in 72. Oh, I've upgraded beyond there, Angel. I've got punch cards and everything. Punch cards, punch tape. I've got a teletype printer, a great big VDU screen. Massive VDU. Of course, it's only in green screen, green on a black background, so the graphics aren't up to much. But apart from that, it's identical to what NASA's got. Yeah. Distance affects distortion. Do your research. Says WPL. Right, WPL. If you're looking at something with a camera and it's very, very far away, you've got a limit to your angular resolution. Things will get smaller and smaller, or perhaps even a little bit blurry. What you don't get is an entire horizon with a curve like that, and in front of it, 2 dead straight strings. And anyway, that horizon is 400 miles away. It's not that far, really, and it's 400 miles looking through mainly nothing, because up there where Mage is, it was 0.3% atmospheric pressure, so there was hardly any air to cause any distortion. Judy Bassett, member for 21 months, sensible supporter. Try some salmiakki, salty licorice for your throat. Do you know, actually, you saying that, Judy, there was a while back someone mentioned about some medicine, Chinese medicine. Recommended this Chinese medicine. I bought myself a bottle on their recommendation and it worked. I think it's up in the cupboard. I'm going to dig that out. It's some sort. I'm not sure it's a cough medicine or a throat medicine. Some Chinese thing. I'm glad you mentioned. You made me think about that. Never heard of salmiakki. Salty licorice. I haven't eaten licorice for years. As a kid, used to have some licorice. It's one of those things you think, I don't really like the taste of it, but actually I can keep eating it. But I'm going to dig out that Chinese remedy stuff. WPL, them's fighting words. I don't have to do it. Mage confirms no curve. Well, WPL, you could say that, only be wrong, because you're going to have to explain why, no matter which direction Mage was pointed, there was always a curve. And it was a curve, I'm talking about the Mage camera now, the one with the strings. It was a curve that never went convex. It always stayed the same. And if you're going to turn around and say, that's just the edge of a spotlight lit by the sun, wasn't it lucky that was apparently slap bang in the middle, even though it was late afternoon and the sun's quite comparatively low, and yet whichever direction Mage swung, the horizon was always the same distance away. How does that work then? So not only have we got a spotlight sun, but we've got a spotlight sun where the sun's not even over the centre of the lit portion. Strange, that, WPL. So do feel free to do a debunk video. That would be good. Or perhaps, if you'd like to watch my Mage videos, WPL, get yourself your arguments together, maybe collect some screenshots or whatever, and come on and have a debate sometime. You know, I'd have a quite a polite debate. That's not a problem. I'd like to talk to you about it. I'd like to see your evidence against Mage. Give it a go. Give it a go. I saw someone saying something about, oh, what's this? Maybe, thank you for being court jester tonight. Maybe you could tag Flatzoid. He needs some practice before going up against Toon later. So I'm going to have to watch Flatzoid against Cats and Flatzoid against Toon. I did watch the Flatzoid against fight, and hopefully sometime soon I'll have him lined up. Have I ever used Fisherman's Friends? I tell you what, I used to use, or used to have those Victory V lozenges when I was a kid. Absolutely adored them. But they changed the recipe. They used to have, I've forgotten what the stuff is. It's sort of anaesthetic. It would actually make your throat go numb. But I got them because I was sick of other kids at school nicking my sweets. So I forced myself to like Victory V lozenges because no one else liked them. But they changed the recipe. I think they can't use that as a material, as an ingredient anymore. Just like with Coca-Cola, doesn't have cocaine in it anymore. Never mind. Yes. Yeah, there you go, WP. Where did the Mage fiasco get published again? Well, WPL, this very channel. There's a playlist for Mage, and there's a playlist for Mage Rage. So you can even get ahead of yourself by watching Mage Rage and seeing the arguments other flat earthers made and failed with. So you could find something else to try and pick Mage up on. Seriously, have a go. Have a look at Mage video. Find out what you think is wrong. And we can come on and have a debate. Now, if I can just show you wrong and it's a misunderstanding, that's fine. I wouldn't mock you for that. I wouldn't. As long as it's a sensible challenge and you think something's wrong because, then we can talk about it and I can tell you why it's not wrong. That's fine. So that would be infinitely better than just saying, hey, it's fake CGI and stuff like that in the side chat of a live stream. Yeah. Dr. Oak, how does it? Oh, what's this? Solar eclipses you've gone on to now? People talking about trolling. Who's trolling? Or are we talking about WPL? Oh, there you go, WPL. My excellent moderator, Colon, has given you a link, and I'm presuming that's to the Mage. There we go. Oh, right. Direct to the Mage, full uncut, 127,000 feet. Which one is that? Colon, is that the... Right, so that's the... Sorry, I don't know if you got that voice coming through. That's the video with the Mage camera, uncut, launched to landing. So there you are. That is the video to watch, WPL. There are no cuts. None of the stuff showing the experiments, showing, with freeze frames and stuff like that. It's just launched to landing. All right? Yeah. I sound triggered that you deconstructed Mage. When did you do that then? You just said it's fake, photoshopped. That's not deconstructing that. I mean, how long's that video? A couple hours, 2.5 hours. How many frames are there in that video? A lot. You would have to edit every single frame undetectably and consistently. I'd be pleased if I could do that. I would get a job in Hollywood then, I'm sure. Would be sure to get a good job in Hollywood. Oh dear. Yes, so we shall wait to see you come back on that then, WPL. All right. What? How do you control for distance effect on distortion? It's a video camera. If you're videoing something, what control do you have for distance? What are you talking about? We're very high up, looking out, and in front of the camera is 2 strings. Beyond that is just the view across over the tops of the clouds to the horizon. What distance distorting effects are you expecting to have? Because you're not going to have all that refraction problems that you're going to get, like in the Black Swan, right down at sea level, just over the water, when the air temperature differentials are just right. That's not going to happen. You're basically up there with no atmosphere, nothing to cause distortion. And as Lady Moonweb says, objects don't distort more and become more curved with increasing distance. Citation required, please, WPL. Citation required. You can't make up your own optics rules. In front of cam will always be less distorted. Than what? Than what? Now, if we're talking about the camera facing me, showing my beautiful face, that's nice and crisp and clear. Now, a background would be out of focus. Okay? So the worst that you could have is if the camera was focusing on the strings and everything beyond was out of focus. That's the only distortion you could be getting, but in effect we're focused on infinity. Yes. So you've got to put up or shut up, my friend. But you've got the link to the video. Go through MAGE video, come up with some arguments, come up with some evidence of this distorting with distance effect you're talking about, and get back to us. Get back to us. Oh, you guys haven't done your research. Oh my. No, you're right, WPL. I didn't do my research. Instead, what I did was I sent a bloody balloon up with 3 cameras to 38 3/4 kilometres under controlled conditions, in that we had the reference frame strings. And what did we see? We saw what we hoped to see, what we were looking to see if it was the case. That was a curved horizon. Now, I'm not aware of other people, I'm sure someone else has done it, but I'm not aware of other people who have sent up non-distorting cameras, because normally they do send wide-angle cameras because they want a nice view. And then you do get the barrel lens distortion causing convex and concave curves. That doesn't happen with MAGE because it's not that sort of lens, and any distortion, if there was any, remains the same. That horizon never went convex. Never. I don't know why I'm talking to you, WPO. It's no good just saying the evidence is already published. You've presented none, and I think that you should come on stream with some evidence. Come on, you can do it. Would you do that? How about a yes or a no? Wait to see. That's what we want. We can hear crickets from you, WPL. Just tell us that you agree to get some evidence together and come on a stream and present your evidence. You'll be able to present your evidence without interruption, and we can discuss it. Once you've done your research, of course. Check your local optics journal. Or don't, because you might spiral when MAGE is crushed. No, I don't need to, WPL. I don't need to. I've presented my evidence. That's MAGE. You are most welcome to crush MAGE using information from your local optics journal. Present it. Crush MAGE. Make me look silly. Become the one flat earther who doesn't go on the MAGE rage list, but goes on a MAGE is busted by list. Because if you bust MAGE with evidence, or at least present some evidence that I can't counter, then I will happily, like I did with Brian's logic about the MAGE temperature readings, I will happily acknowledge that and give you credit for it. Oh yes. I might say, I think he's wrong, but you know what? I can't explain why he is wrong. He's come up with a good argument or some good evidence. Hasn't happened yet. You, come on, you break the mould. You be number one flat earther to do it. Yeah. Well, and as Judy's saying, I'm getting tired. WPL taking over the stream. I know what you mean. I've said my piece. There you go, WPL. Get your evidence. Come back to me. Come on a stream. We can go for it. There you go. Job done. Thank you. Voice of reason there, Judy. I've been out of it too long, haven't I? I'm getting taken in by trolls. Hello, M2M. Thank you very much. And I'm glad to be back. Yeah, getting taken in by trolls. They keep casting their nets, and I was getting caught there, wasn't I? Should be a bit more careful. Oh, what's this? What's this? Hold on, hold on. Can I allow that message? Right, so WPL, I'm going to apologise. Someone I think has blocked your message. I'm not sure why, because I don't see anything rude or nasty about it. So I don't know if I can unblock it. So I'll read out your message. It says $150 donation as a retainer, just like Mitch got. $400 an hour after that. Yeah, right. You think I should pay you $400 an hour for you to present your evidence? You're the one that has the problem with MAGE. That's up to you. No, I'll say no thank you. No thank you. All right? So you're welcome to present it or not. That's up to you. It'd be interesting to see if you've got anything. I'm going to say you haven't. Yeah. $400 an hour. But I... but anyway, I don't know why your message was blocked. My apologies for that. Any mods, please be careful. We want to block hate speech or and things like that, but as long as it's not gratuitous swearing or hate speech, then I don't mind comments from people like WPL, as long as it's reasonable comments. And that was a reasonable comment. That one shouldn't have been blocked. As I said, apologies WPL on that one. That's the cost of having your research. No, you're doing it again, WPL. You're trolling me. The cost of doing your research. I did my research. That was, and I did my experiment. That was MAGE, and it cost me total about £1,500. When you have produced an experiment that counters it, let us know. We'll wait. Yes. So, there we go. Right. I will keep you guys updated with regard to Q when I manage to hook up with him. I don't know. I've not spoken to him for a while. I have been really out of it. For all I know, he's on holiday or something. I don't know. I don't know. Catch up with him. Someone sent me a DM about Kyle. Oh, right. Dahi Draco, who was posting here earlier, thank you. About Kyle was on Dan's video today, where Dan was taking on Globusters, debunk of the James Webb Telescope. Simon Dan's video. The most famous Bob on the planet gets it wrong again. Thank you for that. I'll watch that. Yes, idiots are here to be laughed at, not argued with. Oh, there you go. WPL, you offered $400 an hour, but, excuse me, Blue Feather said that they'll do my research for free. You've been undercut. Just when I was thinking about maybe coughing up $400 per hour. Damn, what a shame, eh? Never mind. Yeah, you're right, Moonweb. He's trying to pull a grift. I don't quite understand how he thinks I'd be tempted to give him $150 plus $400 an hour to debunk my experiment. Yeah, weird. Thank you, Brian Pop Robson, and glad to see you too. Excuse me. Oh dear. Do you know what? My throat is giving out. My pint of water is rapidly disappearing. Yeah, so next video, don't know what it is. I'm going to have to go through my list of, like I said, I've got tagged video channels, lots of flat earth and other weird and wonderful stuff. About 100 of them, I think. I'll have to load those up, go through them. Wow, look at that. Benji Bertie. Ha! I shit you not. I wonder today where Mr. Sensewood gone. I'd gone here, Benji Bertie. Now, yeah, you'll have to watch the beginning of the stream. But I've had a lot on in life, been away, and, stuff like that happens. Work happens as well. Actually, in one way, it was quite nice to have a bit of a break from it and do other stuff. But I have missed it as well, big time. And I think I'm 9:45 now. I think, to be honest, I am a little under the weather with my throat and that. So I think I will probably wind up. So thank you ever so much, everyone, for joining me. Yeah, I was saying about next video. So I'm going to go through sometime soon. Go through my tagged Flat Earth and other weird and wonderful channels. Find something to make fun of and or debunk at the same time, and get a video there out and about as soon as possible. And me says, hello, Mr. Sensible, long time no see. I haven't seen me either. Yes. And same with streams. So I've got to get things, get back into the swing of things, get things moving. As I said, Q, I'm just checking the DM I sent to him. Unfortunately, I can't tell if he's picked it up. There's no way of knowing on Discord if the other person's read it, is there? But he hasn't replied anyway. He hasn't replied. Yes, Brian, you did time that well. Oh, yes. Very well. So, I am going to love you all and leave you, and hope to see you all again soon. WPL, do your research. I will not charge you $400 an hour. I'll let you do it for free. You go and debunk MAGE. If you debunk MAGE, like I said, I'll give you credit. I will apologise to you and say you were right. But you're going to have to come up with some evidence that shows I was wrong, and not sit there in the side chat just saying you're wrong, Mr. S. It's not good enough. I may be wrong, but you're going to need more than that to make me admit I'm wrong. But I will admit I'm wrong if I'm shown to be wrong. Thank you for your peer review. Very welcome. Yeah, it's been nice to come back. So, those of you in the UK, remember tomorrow night at 0200 the clocks go back. It reaches 01:59 and then jumps back to 1 o'clock again. So if you're working like I am, you get the wonderful opportunity to work an extra hour on a late shift. Thanks for that. That happens to me every time. I never get it on the shift of the clocks the other way, where I end up with a really short shift. Yeah, Flo, you're right. Sliding back into YouTube, it did feel a bit funny. I thought, oh, crumbs, I'll need to start that. I must remember to set that setting. I did get the mic on, though, straight away, which is good. I could have got that wrong. Yeah. So, I'm going to say thank you very much. Take care. See you all soon. All the best. Stay sensible.
Mr. Sensible, bring me some cheese, and get me only the best if you please. Here are some flowers, let me display them. They better run or you have Arnold slay them. Mr. Sensible, you are a man. Every subscriber is a faithful fan. Bring your logic and your cheese. Mr. Sensible, help us out, please. Mr. Sensible, I needed proof of gravity, so I jumped off the roof. It had not let me go further. Why was I ever such a dumb flat earther? Mr. Sensible, I'm such a clown. I am the laughing stock of the town. Bring your logic and your cheese. Mr. Sensible, help me out, please. Mr. Sensible, bring me a sphere to which the waters of the oceans adhere have explanations, but let me be candid. So clear that all the fluffers understand it. Mr. Sensible, please hear my call. The earth is not flat, so let's have a ball. two.